Hi, friends, and welcome to the Anniversary Podcast. I'm your host, Mary, and this is a space where we celebrate another year, reflect on what it's taught us, and talk honestly about what it really takes to keep choosing each other. Anniversaries aren't just about marking time, they're about honoring growth. So today, I'm actually here with a couple that I've known for quite a while. Well, I've known Nicole for quite a while. She and I were mission companions on the mission. We both served an LDS mission in Boston, Massachusetts during COVID, which is a very interesting time to say the least. But I remember this very distinctly, Nicole, I very distinctly remember this when we were driving to our apartment in Rhode Island, and I was asking you, I was like, so do you have a boyfriend back home or whatever? And you're like, yeah, we're going to get married. And I was like, good for you. I don't know, because I had never had that real experience. So why don't you guys share a little bit of how you met and what kind of led you to the decision, even before you went on your mission, to that you guys were gonna get married?
Well, Taylor came home from his mission, and his younger sister is my best friend, and she was off at college, so she was home for the weekend. So I said, hey, I'll come over. She told me there's cute friends of his to flirt with, so I got dressed up all cute, and then, I ended up talking to Taylor most of the night. And I don't know, from then you DM'd me the next day, and we've been together ever since. But our first date, we had something all planned, but it fell through, and so then we ended up just going to the temple. And that was probably our first mistake, because I think we both felt it that first day in the temple very strongly that we were going to get married.
Interesting. Taylor, do you have another side to that story?
I mean, that's pretty much true. I did slide in the DMs, but we both kind of had this strong feeling that we were supposed to be together. So yeah, it was really interesting, and probably shouldn't have gone to the temple on the first date, like she said, but it was probably the best thing actually that we could have done. So.
I love that, because for a lot of couples, spirituality is such an important piece of whether you're gonna marry someone or not, and especially within the framework of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, knowing who your eternal spouse is a huge thing. And this is not to slander any other religion in any way, and this is not really a theology discussion, but in the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, for those who don't know, when you get married, you get sealed for eternity. So we believe that God's power will literally seal you to your spouse after this life. And so marriage is not taken lightly, and it's a huge decision. So feeling that on the first date is also probably super overwhelming.
Very scary.
Yeah, it was.
Especially because I knew she wanted to serve a mission, and I didn't have any intentions of even marrying someone at that point, or thinking about marriage. I was just dating around. And so thinking about, well, crap, I think God's showing me a sign that I have to follow this prompting. It kind of scared me,
Yeah.
I have to wait this out, and I have to make sure I'm making the right decision too. So
yeah, you were 20 and I was still in high school, so it was kind of an overwhelming feeling to feel that. But I think we both have been able to support each other through our goals and before marriage, and now we're supporting each other after marriage too.
Yeah. And so you guys have gone through a whole journey, because, and this is just something that I've seen through a lot of social media, and I'm on Reddit quite a lot. Yeah. But people wait a long time to get married. They wait until they're settled in their careers, they've gone to college, the whole thing. And then they get married. Then they feel comfortable enough to get married. What was the deciding factor for you guys to want to get married while you were still in college? Because that's a little bit scary.
Yeah, it definitely seems a little scary, but also it was probably the best decision to get married in college, because then we get FAFSA, you know, and we also
Financially, it's a good decision.
Yeah, financially it was a great decision, but also we were able to support each other, and we still do. I mean, we still see that as Nicole's doing her master's program right now. I've been able to kind of step in and do a few of the household things, whereas she used to do those a little bit more before. And so I think it's definitely helped being married in college. But
yeah, I don't know how I would have done college without a husband.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know how I would have dated. That seems hard.
What did the support look like during college for both of you? Because Taylor, you were mentioning like you were stepping up with household chores, and like where Nicole is working hard on her master's program. Like what? Because people always say like, oh, like you need to support your partner in their endeavors or whatever. But what does that actually look like for you guys?
I mean, when we were both in school, I feel like the roles were very, very flexible. Like it was whoever's home this night gets to cook. Whoever, whoever, you know, has time to work works. Like it was just very flexible, very always changing, because college schedules are never consistent, which makes it hard, makes it stressful. But I do feel like we still try to take that portion of time every week for like a date night, a check-in.
Yeah, I'd agree. And like I said, it still goes on, you know, as she's trying to finish up school. It's an ongoing thing where, I don't know, maybe she doesn't feel like she can do as much and around the house, and she has to study and stuff. So I'm just sitting around playing video games or watching a show, or you know, so I can step up. And
no, this man, he cleans the whole house, does the cooking.
Yes.
Yes, I'm barely surviving, but I don't know how I would do it. I'm always asking my people in my cohort, I'm like, I just think, how do they do it? Because I have someone like paying my bills, someone, like feeding me and keeping my house clean. And I don't have the capacity right now to do a lot of that other than school. Yeah. So I'm very grateful for his support.
I guess that's another thing, is financially I can support Nicole through school. So we're trying to do all this, you know, debt free, and trying to get through it so that it's better after she finishes. So I think, you know.
Yeah, he has to put up with a lot because I keep volunteering for more things for free. So
you're like, please.
Yeah. But it works out. It's good. So.
Yeah. I love that. It sounds like you guys have like a real like communication style where it's like very easy, because I feel like a lot of people just have not necessarily a hard time communicating. It's just like they're scared to communicate, and you guys don't seem scared at all to communicate in your marriage.
I mean, at first it was a little scary for me, at least, because I'm a little more, you know, by myself. I do things on my own. And she's definitely more like, just put it out there, you know, say what you need to. And so that was definitely hard for me, but yeah, she's taught me to kind of just say what I'm feeling and say what's needed. And so.
Yeah. And so what has been like, because you guys have been married for almost 4 years in August, what's been like the biggest surprise over the first couple years of marriage?
The biggest surprise?
Or like something. Okay, here, I'll rephrase the question. Nicole, what's something you've learned about Taylor during marriage that you didn't learn while dating, and vice versa for you, Taylor?
I understand that. Yeah.
Well, non-seriously, I learned that he didn't actually like to hike. And that he was put up with a lot of my interests. But now I've learned about him, like we said, his communication style, and that's an ongoing, an ongoing learning process to learn how the other person communicates, and I'm trying to understand that. His family grew up communicating differently, like we said, more closed off, and I wasn't expecting that, because my family's just like, okay, throw it all out and then we get over it. But Taylor's careful with what he says, and so I've learned to let things like take their time, and we're able to resolve issues a lot quicker that way. So I've been really focusing on learning his communication style, I guess.
Yeah, and I guess for me is the most surprising thing was probably like financially is she was very like money saver, but right as I get my check, like I'm going to spend it, you know? Like I want to go buy this new thing or whatever. And so she really helped me to see that we have bigger things to save for, like a house or, you know, our future family that, you know, that are more important than just dumb knickknacks here and there. So I think that was a big surprise to me, but good surprise.
Yeah. And sometimes those dumb knickknacks are important.
Yeah, that's true.
We have plenty of those.
I'm not supporting like going and buying like a $500 like Star Wars Lego packet unless you budget for it.
Oh, I would love that. Yeah.
But like just like supporting each other in like the whims that like kind of come up is like one of those things that I think can help a person just be a person. And so like when you guys were dating before you got engaged and before like you guys got married, what were the conversations like of how like what you wanted to do and like kind of trying to reconnect with those shared goals? Because I think, and this is just something that I found over this podcast, is every couple that I've interviewed, they have like, they are definitely their individual people, but they have like this shared common goal to like go upwards, whether it's like gaining a family or getting a master's degree, and like just kind of building on that. What did those conversations look like for you guys? Were they like sit down conversations, or were they just kind of like natural flow, like kind of offhandedly? Because I'm kind of curious. Because
what would you say?
I don't know. I'd say it's probably a little bit of both. I mean, there were some times where it was kind of natural, where it'd be brought up, but then it'd turn into an actual conversation where it's like, okay, we need to plan for this. We need to have goals set for this. So I feel like maybe sometimes naturally it was brought up to be more of like a, professional, not professional, but like a
more serious conversation.
More serious conversation.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I feel like, I mean, especially at the beginning, I mean, with me choosing to go on a mission, that obviously like delayed maybe when we would have gotten married. But he kind of knew that I always had that goal because I was pretty like explicit. And then I feel like, I don't know, with my goals, like I've been very explicit with like, this is what I'm going to do. So I hope you support me in it. Like,
good luck,
or
pal.
else you're not the one for me. So, but at the same time, while we've been like, he's known that I've always had, you know, my master's degree as a goal. And he's always had the goal of getting his degree, and even when he didn't know when he was going to get his degree, and he knew he wanted to get that, but I think along the way it was less explicit, more just like we're getting through it. I don't know.
Yeah,
but
that makes sense, because I mean there's only like so many serious conversations that you can take out in one toll. Like I don't know, like I'm a fairly sober person, and so like I'm always down for like a serious conversation, but there are people that I know and like just a lot of people in my life who can't have like a sit down serious conversation. And so like you have to like, that's one of those things as you like go through a relationship of any kind, like you just have to learn how to have those serious talks in a way where they're gonna receive it.
Yeah. And I guess that's interesting you say that, because in her family it's really like she said, where it's like they're explicit, they're out there, they're ready for a deep conversation, and there's a few times where I'm like, you guys are really talking about this right now in the car? Like my family, we would never talk about this, you know?
Yeah.
So I guess it's just different family functions.
Yeah, we're really learning how to blend our styles, and we're still, I mean, even after 4 years, we're still learning how to blend our styles, and especially before we start a family, like figuring out how we want to talk to each other. If we're, formal meeting type people, and maybe we are sometimes, and I don't know, and sometimes we just all vibe together, but I don't know.
Yeah.
No,
it's an ongoing
thing, and I think and I keep on saying this, but like that's what it is all about, is this ongoing learning. You never fully graduate with your bachelor's degree in marriage until you've made it until, I would probably say 60 years or 50 years down the road together, where you're okay, finally, I understand what all of this is about. maybe we'll say 25 years is a bachelor's, and then 50 to 60, maybe even 40 on is a master's degree.
Totally.
Very good.
So when you guys have been pulled in different directions, what have you guys done? Because it sounds like you've had a lot of things, and Nicole taking on a bunch of different volunteer opportunities. How have you guys come back together? What has helped you kind of come back and reconnect with each other?
That's what we're working on. We've recently, he went on a trip without me, and then right after I went on a trip without him, and then we're we need time to reconnect. We can feel that we're kind of just living our separate lives, because there's not even time to chat. And so I mean, it's still a process. I don't know. We try to have date nights where we're phones off, but that doesn't always happen.
Yeah.
The goal is there, but we're always so tired at the end of the day that I don't know. We're thinking about that, what we can do to connect.
Yeah, and a lot of it is just trying to support each other along with those times together. But I feel like trying to support each other really helps us come together also. So maybe we don't have as much time right now to spend together, but we are still there, So.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, I feel connected to him because he's working towards my goal, and I'm working towards, future goals for our family. So
but we're also
a different way.
We're also planning stuff this summer, going camping and stuff that we can spend time together, So
any hikes?
Maybe.
I'll make him go on some hikes.
So when you guys have had those moments of disconnection, and you're kind of learning through that, what's something that actually, we're just gonna nix this. Sorry, editor. You're the best. I have a whole team of editors that go through this. Why? Okay. Okay. So you guys talked a little bit about Nicole, you were saying this, you guys had your two individual lives where you're kind of just together. Well, you're still together, but you're kind of going on individual journeys, I guess. And so how do you guys navigate those individual goals while having a shared vision for your life?
These are good questions. I mean, this sounds so taboo, but we really try to do New Year's resolutions where we're bringing it back home. I know should do it more often than every year, but okay, let's think about what we're doing, what we can do together to become better together, and that includes our separate goals as well. But I don't know. I don't have a great answer.
No, I think that's a good answer.
I mean, it is kind of those. It does kind of include those lifetime goals. If we want to buy a house, we want to have a family, and so we're kind of working together, even though we may be on different paths, in school or whatever we're doing. But I mean, we're still, working towards that same end goal, and we're maybe just holding hands on a different path, But we're there together,
holding our hands across the path, but.
Maybe
that's true. We're working towards the same goal, just in different ways.
Yeah. And maybe if it's okay with you, Taylor, we're gonna use a hiking analogy.
Yeah, that's all good, yeah.
Where it's kind of like you guys are on a hike together, but you guys have to still do like your like Nicole can't move Taylor's legs and Taylor can't move your legs, and so like, but you guys are holding hands. Well, maybe not on the hike, but like you're still like going in the same direction together, and I think that's where I think people get a little bit nervous when like they have like, oh, like these individual lives and I can't give up X, I can't give up Y. It's like the person that you're going to spend the rest of your life with is going to be by your side through all of your individual goals and like whatever is going to come your way.
I do love that analogy. It's like, if we're on a hike, you know, maybe I have my own fishing pole and she has her book, you know, but we're still going to be up at the lake, you know, after this long hike. And that's how it is in life. You know, we have our own things we're doing, but we're still there together, and we're still there to get to the ultimate goal is eternal life. And yeah.
There you go. Okay. I have a silly question for you guys. This is kind of like, this is like one question that I like to ask like younger couples that have been married for like not as long as like, because I've had couples that have been like 22 years, like 14, like a long time. Yeah. So what is something like in the past, like maybe 4 years that you didn't expect about each other that you've learned through marriage? Like it can be like something completely silly where it's like, oh, Nicole has like this weird foot tap or
oh yeah. No, I feel like you have some about me. That's a good question. I haven't thought about that.
No.
I guess she does like, okay, one funny thing. She does kind of like tap her fingers or like
as I'm
scrape,
doing it.
scrape her finger, and I can feel it like as I'm holding her arm. It's so annoying to me. But I'm like, but yeah, I probably have my own certain things that I do. So.
Yeah, I don't know. I didn't think every guy had to hack a loogie in the morning, but I guess it's a thing.
What is it?
Like hack a loogie in the morning, clearing your throat in the morning. But I think because I am like in the voice field, I'm like, you can't clear your throat. That's bad for you. But I don't know. That's just funny. But I feel like some things when I first got married like bugged me, but now it's like a part of everyday life and it doesn't matter anymore.
Yeah. I
don't know.
She used to be like a super early riser too, and I was definitely not.
Boy, do I know that.
But I feel like she's gotten better at sleeping a little bit more. So it's been a little beter.
Yeah, I feel like we're morphing into the same person, but still different. Yeah, I don't know.
That's okay. I love it.
Terrible answers.
It's fun to hear like those things, and Nicole, like you were saying, like as time goes on, it's like those habits and like whatever you're like doing, whether it's like hack-a-looging in the morning, like or like I don't know, waking up early or like picking your nails, like those are things that are just gonna like you're gonna find endearing, and like they're part of an identity in a little bit more than like just whatever is like, oh, this is like such an annoying thing.
Yeah, it's true.
But I love that. And it sounds like you guys have like really like, because you kind of were talking about how like you have like your own families, like you have your family, and like now you're creating this like one new family unit. And like what advice would you give to newlyweds who are like trying to navigate creating their own family and not necessarily letting outside influence impact your new family?
I think it's important to have those sit-down conversations about things like this and about conversation styles. I think that is a big thing for us that we had to learn was how our conversation styles varied. And before you can even have a deep conversation, you have to figure out each other's styles and what works best. And I don't know. Some advice that I would give is just, I think you need to be open to each other's point of view when you sit down, and not to be defensive about the way your family does it, and but be open to listening to suggestions. And I think it's important to observe each other's families too, and kind of pick out things that you like and maybe some things that you don't, but again, without being defensive about your family, because of course you love your family. But
yeah, I'd agree. I'd say maybe don't have too many expectations going into marriage, but also it's okay to have expectations. Like, you should want certain things in your marriage and your family, but as you go into the marriage, I mean, those expectations might change. A lot of them will probably change. So I'd say just be open, like she said, be open to the differences and the changes that will occur. So
yeah,
I love that. Well, that's all of my questions that I had for you guys today. So thank you guys so much for coming on. And Taylor, it was so nice to get to know you a little bit more. So fun fact about Taylor. So they were dating kind of while me and Nicole were on our missions, and we were mission companions over Christmas. And sweet Taylor got me some Christmas gifts without even knowing who I was. And so then I met him through, like, I kind of knew of him through my mission, and then I kind of only met him at their wedding. And I was like, hey, congratulations. But now I'm like so super grateful to kind of sit down and like actually get to know you a little bit more, because like as I see this, and I'm like, I'm protective of Mijita a little bit, but like you guys just seem like such a solid couple, and like you guys have like so much life ahead of you. You guys are like the yin to your yang, and you guys are just like, I don't know, you guys just seem like such a good couple, and like solid in your goals and solid in what you want out of life. And I think that's because of like the love that you have for God and for each other and for your families. So thank you guys again. So I have like 3 questions that I'm going to ask you. These are like the big doozy questions. You thought these were doozy questions. These are going to be a little bit crazier. So when things get hard, what is the core reason, that one thing about your partner and your life together, that makes giving up not an option for you?
I mean, I have always been like super focused on commitment. Commitment's a huge thing in my life, and especially when I was playing sports growing up, my coaches, my football coach especially, taught us to be committed, to be there on time, to do everything correctly. And so I feel like I really bring a lot of those things in my personal life and into our marriage, where I can kind of, focus on staying committed. And even though it may be hard and times may be tough, I mean, that's what I chose, and I'm glad I chose it, even though the moment's hard. So just have to stay committed.
Sure. It's funny that he says that, because that was like the one advice my dad ever gave me about finding a husband, was find someone who's fully committed. And so, I mean, that just kind of proves that. But
yeah.
That kind of made me lose my train of thought, but
that's okay.
I honestly go back to like the first feelings that I felt really strongly from God, that I needed to be with this man, and the many answers to the prayers I've received about Taylor. And in those moments, because marriage is not always easy, there's going to be fights, there's different conversation styles, but yeah, I just remember, you know what, like, I do love him, and this is, it's just a moment, and we'll get past it. And I have to remember, those answers from God that I've received.
Yeah, I love that. Also, before we go on to our next questions, I actually just had one question that I wanted to ask you guys, even like just kind of as like a side note. Well, not like a side note, but just like as like in addition to what we've been kind of talking about is like, how do you, because a lot of people, and like myself a little bit included in this, but also kind of not, because I do think that like, especially for people of faith, that like when God tells you something, like it's super important. But when like, because you guys obviously had like a really strong feeling that you guys were gonna be together. Yeah. And so like, what advice would you give to someone who's like, someone's like not necessarily like feeling the confirmation from a higher power, or they're like you know what I'm kind of saying? Because like sometimes like BYU gets this bad rap of like, God told me to marry you. Or like Christian colleges get this really bad rap of like, God told me to marry you. And everyone's like, like,
it has to be
mutual.
It has to be mutual.
Yeah, it's true. I've always heard that too. And it's like, well, I'm not going to feel that, maybe I'll just say that, but it's true. I mean, we did have that actual feeling. But I think even though you may not receive a super clear answer, sorry, or you may not receive, a super strong feeling about it, the decision that you make is the decision that is what, I guess, I don't know what I'm trying to say. Maybe we should cut that.
That's okay. Yeah, we can cut that out.
Sorry. Let me get my train of thought here again. Maybe you go.
Let's see.
I just totally lost my train of thought.
I know.
It's a little bit.
It's really cliche, but I do think you kind of like meet your person and you just kind of know. And you have to, I don't know, keep gelling it out and seeing if you work well with each other. But at the same time, yeah, you need to make that commitment, because it's not going to be flowers and roses every moment of your relationship. And so you need to figure out what are your deal breakers and what just makes a person human.
For sure.
I don't know. That's a practical answer, but not a very romantic.
No, that's
his
okay.
problems I could deal with, so I'm just kidding. His green flags were bigger than
his little tiny red flags.
Yeah. And there's no red flags, just the things that bug me.
So those are called beige flags.
Beige flags.
Ding, ding, ding.
I mean, but yeah, it's true. I mean, even like if you're gonna make that decision to marry that person, that's the decision you're gonna make, and so trust your decision and keep looking for an answer. I'd say maybe.
I like that.
Yeah, it's important to find someone that. Sorry.
No, you're good.
That like supports you in your goals. I think that was a huge thing I was looking for. Was I know that I'm a pretty like determined person and nothing's gonna get in my way. And so I knew I needed someone that would be flexible with that. And I think just knowing your goals, knowing what you're looking for can really help in understanding who you need in a partner.
Yeah, I love that. And like the God piece will kind of like, and the higher power will kind of take care of itself, where like, and like this is like a thing that like members of the church really emphasizes, like God is not gonna like take away your free will and like your choice to like choose a partner or choose whoever you're gonna be with. Like, so like he's gonna honor that, and you just have to either work through it or like find something else that works better for you, and God will honor your choice. He'll try and direct you with his gentle, loving hand as best he can, but it's ultimately your choice.
I know, in all reality, there might be there's a lot of great people out in the world. So it's not like, I don't think it's necessarily like there's only one person that I will ever get along with, Yeah.
I actually had an MTC teacher. This made me think of this, but I had an MTC teacher that I think she had broken up with her boyfriend or something the week that she was teaching us. And so she was kind of sad, and we were trying to talk to her about it and try and help her. And she just kept telling us, you know what? I know there's a lot of people. Sorry, I'm trying to like translate this from Spanish to English, but she's like, I know there's a lot of people that are prepared for me, but the person I choose will be the right person.
Yeah.
So
I love that. And so, okay, next question. We're getting back to our ending questions here. So relationships and like growing together can be messy. So what's one practice or mindset that has helped you most in choosing to stay close when you're feeling disconnected?
I think if you have big arguments and it's late at night and you're like, well, you know, everyone says don't go to bed mad. Sometimes maybe you just have to go to bed mad, you know, because then the next morning you wake up and it's okay. Obviously, if it's a bigger issue, maybe you have to talk about it, you know. But I think a lot of the times we might need some time to think and to say the right things, so we don't regret anything. But yeah, sometimes you need some time, or sometimes you just really need to talk about it. So
I love that.
Yeah, honestly, we have to go to bed angry sometimes because I'm never going to say anything nice if it's late at night. And then by the next, I can let things roll off my shoulder really easily. And so once we've had a little time, we wake up in the morning, we're ready to go again.
Yeah.
And the same thing. I mean, if you have these, you know, messy times, like you said, or these troubling times, you have to remember what the end goal is, right? So our end goal is to be able to have a happy family together, you know, to be happy together and to reach our goals and to help each other to reach our goals. So maybe the thing that we're arguing about, like, I don't know, maybe I want to go camping this next weekend with my buddy and she doesn't feel like she's included, and maybe I need to remember, you know, she should be there, you know, she's my person. And so
yeah,
you kind of got to remember the end goal.
Yeah.
So
I love that.
Cool.
End goal, and it's okay to go to bed angry.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, everyone always has their different take with that, and so I love hearing what everyone's perspective is. Okay, so now this is like the big doozy question. Like, so knowing what you know now, what is the one thing you wish you could tell yourself on the day your relationship first began?
I'd say there may be some tough times, but it will all be worth it. There's so many different opportunities and life experiences that you'll experience and have yet to experience that are totally worth it. And I know a lot of people say this, but the person who you marry will end up being the person that helps you to be the most successful that you can be yourself. So it's really, really important decision, but it's the best decision that you can make. So
yeah, I'd probably tell myself, like I did in the first day our relationship started, or at least when I knew it was getting serious, like I don't know, not to be so scared about it, because you're still going to accomplish everything and more because of Taylor. Like I thought maybe, you know, being in that relationship would hold me back. And a lot of people were telling me that around me, that just tell myself not be scared, because I have had more experiences with him than I would have been able to have without being together.
I love that. Amen. Well, thank you guys again for coming on the podcast. I've been like trying to get people I know, because like I know people, like I try to be a lot more in depth with people and not so surface level, and so like podcasts really just help with like the like now you're forced to be real with me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you. We're so grateful to be here
I
on
know,
your
it's
podcast.
good.
Yeah. For sure. And so anniversaries aren't just about how long you've lasted, they're about how you've grown. So whether you're married, dating, single, or somewhere in between, I hope this conversation inspires you to reflect on what you're building and to remember that love is less about perfection and more about intention. Another year, another layer, another opportunity to choose each other. And if you know a couple whose story should be celebrated, I would love to meet them. Send this episode their way and have them fill out the link in the description below so that we can celebrate their next anniversary too. Thanks for listening. I'll see you next time.